Hello all, we're here with another episode of Chalk Talk with Tony. I am your host, Tmzoids, also known as Tony, and today we have Beemes, and she would not like to share her name, which is fine with me, but how are you doing, Beemes?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I guess the first question that we're going to start off with is, how did you get your name? Beemes? Is it, I know on your Twitch channel you're the Queen Bee, is that,
Queen Bee of the Beemes Hive.
how did that all incorporate? How did the name come up?
Beemes came because I ran out of variations of melon, basically. And I don't know how it just randomly popped up. Be me. Like, be myself. Ooh, don't be anybody else but yourself. And then totally random and kind of cheesy. But yeah, Beemes. I thought it sounded cool. One syllable.
So you're not a big bee fan? You don't collect bees in your backyard or anything like that?
Can't say that I really do. They're cute when you zoom in on them, a little fuzzy.
Fair enough, but they sting you, they bite you, I guess
They
most of the
do.
time.
I can't say I've ever been stung by a bee though. Wasp. I've been stung by a wasp.
Oh my goodness, that
But
doesn't make you afraid?
sorry.
Oh,
No, not really. It wasn't that bad. But yeah, the Beams Hive was actually viewers came up with that one. Like we're just trying to figure out what's our group? What are we? Beams Hive. The swarm.
the
Who knows?
swarm. You raid
Pretty cool.
people and you swarm in, but very cool, very interesting. So, of course, this is a gaming show, so I guess that's where we're going to start. Right from the beginning, when did it happen? Every interview, it seems like family's a big part of gaming.
Yeah, very much. Just same with me. Family had probably the first one I played was Nintendo 64, but we had a Nintendo NES.
Okay.
Um, so then after like playing a little N64, you grow up a little bit and you play a little bit of NES games, which we all know are harder. But mostly just Mario. Me and my brothers taking turns fighting over who's gonna be Mario and who has to be Luigi. But way back then, as long as I can remember,
So
always
you're
gaming.
so you're a big Mario fan. You're not Sonic Mario.
I didn't play a lot of Sonic, not until I was probably in the teens. I finally checked out some Sonic games on the computer mostly.
So would you say your heart lies in Nintendo 64? Is that like, if you had to go back, you're like, man, this is the console of my childhood, nostalgia. Is there a specific
Yes.
game that you would always play and always?
Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh my goodness. Believe it or not, you are the second person. I actually recorded this yesterday, which will be a week from now, I guess, from this. But they said the same thing. I was like, I don't even know that game. And they're like, how do you
You?
not
You
know?
don't know Banjo-Kazooie? What?
No, I do not. And then they
Dude.
explained it. But just once again, what is Banjo-Kazooie if people do not know that game?
It's you are playing a character, two characters, like a little they cooperate with each other. And one's a little bird in a little backpack of a bear, and he jumps out and he helps you fly sometimes, and he pecks people's like brains out, and the bear tumbles around, and it's so funny. And I think if I remember correctly, the bird was really sassy towards the bear, who was kind of I think I remember the bear being a little bit dumber. Yeah, Banjo was the bear, I should say, instead of bear bird. Banjo Bear, Kazooie was the bird.
Makes sense. Makes
Freaking
sense.
awesome games. That's one of those ones. Oh, I was telling you that before. How me and my brothers would watch each other.
Watching each other. So, like you said, you're playing with your brother. You're fighting over the Mario, Luigi. Who wants to do that? So, did you? Is this where you really got into gaming and really was like putting a lot of time into gaming, or is it not until like your teens or into high school where it was like really like games?
I would say it's like I gamed a lot when I was younger, but then we also played outside. And then maybe more in like preteen, teenish area was
Hmm.
a lot of playing outside, just like activity out with the neighborhood kids. And then later high school years, more back to gaming when I got a little lazier to go outside.
It
But
seems like that's the
roller coaster.
It seems like it's the case because it seems like in high school you have no money, video games are free. At that time, you don't have to pay. You only pay for the video game and then, hey, you get
Yep.
all that fun. So you started with the N64. Now where did you go off? Are you a PlayStation fan or an Xbox fan? This is where some of your viewers are going to be like, "Why? You're
Yeah.
ah."
I think they know I'm a PlayStation fan. I think that's known. I got a PS4, no Xbox. My brother's the Xbox one. So if we ever want to switch it up, we got each other's backs. We can
So you
help each other out.
So you started with the PlayStation 1 then, and kind of worked your just kept.
Actually, we were Nintendo 64, GameCube. We never had PS1. We had the PS2.
Oh my goodness, never a PS1.
No, we didn't have the PS1.
Wow.
But luckily the PS2 played PS1 games.
Oh yeah.
Crash Bandicoot.
Oh,
Oh,
I
God.
love that game. That is actually one of
See,
my favorite games.
that one, actually no, because that's like the GameCube PS1. So that didn't really compete with Banjo-Kazooie. But Crash Bandicoot, so good. Actually, was Nintendo 64 and PS1? And then it was GameCube? I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway.
I think yeah, PlayStation was like released a year or two after the N64, and then things got all mixed up. You got the GameCube coming out, and the Xbox came out really
Oh,
late.
I
And
know.
so you're a PlayStation fan now. You're playing PlayStation. Is there? You said Crash Bandicoot would probably be your favorite game there, or is there something that really stuck out there that made you a PlayStation fan and Xbox just never appealed to you?
PlayStation, was it on 2 or 3? Little Big Planet. I think that was 3.
I think that's
Little
three.
Big Planet was the one that just took me right into the PlayStation because it's I spent probably, I didn't go to college right out of high school, and I just stayed home and I played Little Big Planet all the time, building levels, playing community levels. Um, I had one really cool friend that we just always played together. Just met him through while playing a community level, and I don't know, we just ended up hanging out all the time on PlayStation. It was a lot of fun.
Very cool, very cool. So is that your first online experience then? Would be through the PlayStation or the PlayStation 3, I
Um,
guess?
First time playing online. That might be it. That might, or yeah, I think that was probably the first time really playing with other people online.
Was was it a
Trying to think.
while you're thinking of that, was it a culture shock, or if that was your first time, or when the first time you came online, was it really like something new? You're like, wow, I'm playing with somebody like across the world or in a different state right now. Is that something that really
Not so
amazed you?
much, not so much on Little Big Planet. No, that wasn't till WoW, playing
Until
WoW, World of Warcraft. That's
oh,
when it was just like, that's when you're like, wow, there's people all over the place and we're all playing together. That's when it was kind of just like, this is freaking awesome.
oh man, you talk about WoW. I can talk about WoW forever. But so how did we get to WoW? Is that the first game that really started in the computer, or was there a point where you were like no longer a console gamer and kind of shifting into the computer games, or what was your first computer game? I should start with that, I guess.
Sims.
Oh my goodness. Sims.
The Sims. I can remember the first time we're out at, I think it was Sam's Club. It's a place, like big old warehouse place, and they had the Sims 1 box. I can remember my dad taking it off the shelf and being like, I heard that this was a really cool game, or like this game got a lot of awards or something. And just the box, I can like the little squares of the people, and oh God, I think I got home that day, installed it. That might have been the first game I ever installed because I think my dad was helping me install before that. But
Hmm.
then I learned how to install that, and then I played like all night. I think he got up to go to work the next morning, and I was still on my computer, and I was like, "This game is so cool." Yeah, it was. I love that. It was a whole new thing, like simulation, building your own freaking. You're like an architect, and you can play these families. It was awesome to me.
Very cool.
Can't. That was 2000, 1999? No, had to be 2000 something. God, I don't know.
I have no idea. I've never, once again, never played Sims. I've heard of it, I've seen it played, but not a big Sims fan. I find it, if I did play Sims, I would send everybody to the hot tub and just boil them away, cook them away.
Boil them up, yeah.
Oh,
That's funny.
so is that your shift then? You're playing PlayStation, and then your dad gets you, which was cool, by the way, because my parents were like, "Oh, you're playing video games," but they didn't really understand it. They're like, they bought me video games, but they're like, "What are you playing? What is that game you're
Aw.
playing?" And then
No, my family we played Diddy Kong Racing together. Oh my gosh, that was so fun too. God, memories. Memories. Ah.
so would you say that was like your intro to the computer then from the PlayStation, or did you keep playing PlayStation?
I honestly, I was introduced to a computer at a very young age, playing little learning games like Reader Rabbit, Math Rabbit, um,
Putt Putt?
Putt Putt. Yes, I actually streamed Putt Putt. I think twice now or once. I can't remember.
It's on Steam now.
No, no, I did. Putt Putt Goes to the Parade and Putt Putt Goes to the Moon. Yes, they are on Steam. That's awesome. And yeah, Putt Putt, what was just any of those old humongous games, and I'm trying to think of the very first one. I think it was Reader Rabbit. I think it was a Reader Rabbit game. But yeah, so I mean, I was doing those on computers, so I was familiar with the computer, familiar with consoles, and kind of just switching between both throughout the years. But then Sims was a lot of through the Sims, probably like 1 to 3. Played a lot of PC, and then Little Big Planet just sucked me to the console for a while. But then WoW brought me back to the PC.
So then that's when it starts. The big MMO. Where I have so many questions. Like I said, I could talk about WoW forever, but people are like, "Oh goodness, World of Warcraft." It's either World of Warcraft or RuneScape, and I've played both, so I have a heart for both. But so you played World of Warcraft. What was your character? What did you play?
My first character ever was a gnome mage with
I-
the little cone hairstyle. Oh my god, and she was named Melon, and that is when Melon started.
So you're a big melons fan. Is there a specific melon you like to eat? I guess I should have asked this earlier, but
It wasn't even melons like the fruit, it was Mellen,
uh,
like Ellen with an M. I don't know where or why I get these names, but
fair enough. I mean, just something that really appeals to you, what you really like. Maybe your first child will be named Melons. Little Melons. You never know.
yeah, totally. Ellen, Melly.
See, there you go. You got your nicknames. Everything's good.
Yeah, those were all the combinations or all the variations of Mel that I've gone through with all my characters. Because I was always Mel for some reason, and that's not even my name, you guys. So
So, you're playing World of Warcraft. You play the Gnome Mage, and so what was the main? Did you like the PvP, or were you really a PvE character?
PvP,
Or
I loved PvP from the start. Okay, I gotta say no, I was a huge noob, big giant freaking noob. Right, I quested by myself from like 1 to 40. I didn't even know there was this whole other people playing that I could play with. Like I saw them running every once in a while, and like they'd be buffing sometimes, and then I think my brother was like, "Oh, you can do dungeons, right?" And he showed me, and then I got into the dungeons. Oh my god! And then in dungeons, I learned about what twinks are and all that stuff. Oh my gosh. But by the time I got to for like mid 40s or so, I started hanging around like you said, you could talk about WoW forever. Goldshire
Mhm.
and just dueling people and just screwing around and having fun. Oh my god.
So
PvP, always PvP.
always PvP. So that's kind of where it started. You're level 40 now. You're getting more and more used to the game. You know you can do other things in there. I guess since you're a PvPer, what do you think of the changes to the battlegrounds? I remember playing Warsong. I think it was Warsong Gulch, and me and my friend would be playing for hours and hours, and the game would never end. And now they put a cap to it and ending to it, and you're like, no.
I was in Wrath of the Lich King. So I didn't have to deal with any of that old like veteran WoW, you know? I
Hmm.
I, I had Dungeon Finder, I had the BG Finder with the caps. I never was in a Warsong Gulch for days on end. So I heard about those stories and I'm like, that would have been so cool. Probably frustrating, but to me it's just like, wow, man, I wanted to be a veteran. I'm just a little what did they always call us? Little wrath new I can't remember what they wrath babies. I think that's what everyone said. Wrath babies.
Wrath was a successful expansion, but
It was so awesome.
it wouldn't get frustrating. Just little side story. It was just so fun. Like especially if you're playing with one friend or if you really are a big fan of PvP. I mean, I remember staying up. It was like I was in school. I was in high school, and I was like, man, it's midnight. I gotta go to bed. And this thing it just keeps going and going. And I think it hit like 1 o'clock, and we finally won. And it was just the biggest and excitement that I've had in a PvP. I was never a big PvP but that was probably one of my more exciting moments. But so you like PvP? Is there any specific reason why? You just thought it was more challenging, or PvE never really, interest
Well,
you?
yeah. Well, PvE, it's cool. I don't mind it. I mean, I like doing dungeons. That's PvE. But when it comes to like being in the raid and stuff, I was never good. I never cared to look up rotations or like the best gear. Like I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to be a complete noob about it, and see what didn't work for me, and I liked just clicking whatever spells I wanted, and yeah, I was a clicker, by the way, please, please. Um, but like I said, just the rotations. I was never good at maximizing and be like, oh man, I'm so so good at this. I'd rather be out there in PvP, either like helping kill someone, like freezing someone for them, because I was a mage, and um, I never really got a lot of kills though, because like I said, I didn't know rotations, but I had fun just running around and annoying people because I was a little gnome mage. Like that's the best. Everyone hated gnomes for some reason,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
except Mellen. Everyone loved Mellen. You can ask the server of Oldemon 5 years ago. No one
Yeah.
knows me now.
So did you have a guild, or you were just kind of flying solo? You said you were a big noob about things. Did you?
Yeah,
Or
I
just
didn't have a guild for a very long time, and then just our neighbors, and like they were playing WoW too, and they made a guild, small little guild at the time, but then they quit. Then I ended up making my own guild, which was called Legends of Orgrimmar, but I'm on Alliance. I thought it was the greatest thing because we'd go over to the Orgrimmar gates, or I, as the gnome, little gnome mage, I'd go into Orgrimmar, I'd infiltrate with my little invisibility spell, and then I would like make a campfire somewhere, and I would just shout so that I would use the yell chat so people know I was there, and then that's how pretty much people came to know Melon. It's like, oh god, that freaking Melon's in Orgrimmar again, and so oh, the old bank, we would ride in on our freaking on our choppers. We'd ride in straight up and just sit on the old bank and just dance up there until they killed us. And eventually we'd have horde dancing with us and stuff. So fun.
Very
God,
cool.
man.
Very cool. I mean, it was always exciting. I think that's a big unique thing about PvP is that you could actually raid, or I guess I don't. I guess you could call it raiding other, you know, factions.
Yeah.
Orgrimmar or this or that. Very
That
cool.
was something that I always noticed too, was the horde were always so much more, would patriotic be the word?
I
Just so
guess.
much, they were so much more proud of their faction. And then so if you're over there raiding somewhere that the horde is, maybe on a like PvP server it was different. I was unfortunately on
PvE
normal
server.
little, not RP, not PvP, just a plain server. But none of the alliance on my server cared. Orgrimmar, or I mean Insomnia, this one guild in our realm, would come over and raid Stormwind all the time. Like every week there'd be some, every almost every night of the week sometimes. They'd be over there and it's like, "Oh god, Insomnia is here again." And like I'm over here like trying to rally the alliance so we can defeat them and get them out, but they just don't care. They're like, "Whatever, they'll get bored." It's just like, "What the heck, you guys freaking." All the alliance were PvEers, I swear. It made me
I, c- I think it was really server specific because I remember hearing a bunch of stories of it would be either, some were just Alliance dominated PvP, wherever you went it would just be like Alliance would be killing you here, it'd be there, and then there would be other PvP servers that would be Horde dominated where it's just like if you're not Horde then you're pretty much
I
in trouble.
even though in real life too, like you see people with horde, well, like they'll have their horde tattoo and they're just like for the horde, they're really
Mhm.
proud about it. But then I don't see that a lot with the alliance.
I think it's the symbol. I mean, the Horde symbol is just so much cooler than the big
It
lion head. I
it's
mean,
true. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool symbol. But I can't choose either faction. I'm I blow with the wind, and usually that's whichever side is the weaker, like the underdog. That's the side I want to go to and root for and help. I want to bring that underdog to the victory.
very cool, very cool. So from WoW, because like I said, we could be talking about this for I could
Oh, I
say
know.
hours and hours. But you're going on to WoW now, and then where was that? Did you play a couple expansions? When did WoW kind of die down? Did you go back to the PlayStation? You said you got a PlayStation 4, or I guess PlayStation 3 would still be around that time, but
Yeah.
but
So after WoW, I pretty much I played through Cataclysm. I actually did more raiding in Cataclysm. I was tanking. That was fun, but also frustrating when people didn't learn from their mistakes. Anyway,
don't stand in fire, guys. Don't stand in fire.
and then Pandaria came around. I leveled, and I just, what was that? What? Oh, by that time I was starting to play League of Legends. So League of Legends was starting to distract me from WoW. Um, and yeah, I don't know. Pandaria PvP, I think I was just getting really annoyed because every freaking class had a fear, had a freaking silence, they had everything. I was like, Blizzard, but apparently they changed that now. I think I don't know. I haven't really got to max level yet, so I don't know. But yeah, so League of Legends stole me from WoW back around Pandaria, kind of mid Cataclysm, end of Cataclysm maybe.